in this early game. A lot of targeting needs to happen onto the Terrorblade. A lot of vision control is going to be required to give them this dub. Let's see if they can do it as a, shout out to 5RATFORCESTAFF for reminding us that this is Dota 2, so we cannot go without a young pause at the beginning. Thanks, guys.
The classic. So let's see if we have any surprising items here. Doesn't look like it. I mean, Snapfire is starting with a stick, but it's against the Skyrath mage, so not too surprising there. Terrorblade actually walking towards the mid lane. Wonder what his plans are here.
I don't think they have a smoke either, so I don't think we're going to get that 5 hero action that you love to see going. Unless they want to set up for an aggressive lane somehow and then put MMR Tourist solo alone versus the LC 1v1 and then you play aggro into the Medusa. Is that a possibility here that they're looking for?
Aggro lanes are just kind of bad these days due to the way that the camps are placed. Like most carries, they start farming the jungle at like level 5, level 6. And you don't want to farm the enemy jungle at that stage just yet. It's way too risky. So even if you do win the lane, you don't really transition that well and you get yourself to a really awkward situation where you still have to lane swap at like level 4. So nah. No aggressive tri lanes or just carry v carry matchups in this meta.
They will heed your advice and set up normally MMR Tourist playing this offlane Kunkka. We will see if he's the one that 5RATFORCESTAFF made sure to respect ban. We'll see the prowess on the hero. Of course, this is going to be in this Medusa lane. Medusa being backed up by Bane is unlikely to die, but not like this is a pressure-free lane either between the Kunkka and the Snapfire, and there is some kill potential, especially at level 3 coming in, so Overlord will definitely have to watch his positioning down bottom. But do you think Medusa will be okay to get her farm? I don't really see her dying in this situation, right? She should be fine for the most part to get the CS.
Yeah, Medusa's gonna be fine. I mean, Kunkka is a pretty strong laner, but mostly against melee heroes. I can see TV struggling way more. He has a Clockwork, which can be really nice, but at the same time, Skyrath Mage is so good against low health heroes.
And speaking of low health heroes, they've already ticked both himself on the Terrorblade as well as the Thana Clockwork very, very low. B-God with the max harass, Tingle King also getting in on the action with this harass game. This is a no fun allowed lane, unfortunately. So just gotta grin and bear it, boys. Suddenly now, this lane is, as much as it's gonna be super sad for KBU. Let's see if they find this first blood. They might find it on Thana. It came out a little bit here, and will he die? Yes, he will. They wanted to use the meta on Dad to at least get the first blood on Tingle King, but they can't reach the range with the battery assault. So this LC not only survives, gets back, they drew out the first meta for that too, and they get the first blood. Life is good in the top lane here for the 5RATFORCESTAFF lineup.
Yeah, this time it's KBU's turn to pick a safe lane that really cannot deal with the enemy offlane. Clockwork TB has an... Oh, Nico. You beautiful bastard.
Oh my gosh. Nico gets a first blood. Tingle King's about to die in the top lane as well. KBU, it gets a little, at least at the middle, like we ended up losing the Ember right away, but he gets the experience for himself. Oh my goodness, that was crazy from Nico. What a way to start the game. And down bottom, they're putting pressure onto Italiano Gangster. Doesn't end up dying though. We're gonna be okay. They might actually get a turnaround play onto the Snapfire. Warden almost certain to take a tumble here. A couple of more right clicks. Nice fairy fire in the trees, and that's gonna be that. Warden's okay. Instead, the big plays are still gonna be the Queen of Pain getting solo killed in this mid lane. Then they end up losing the LC top. But what happened here, Wingblade? How did this take place? What did Nico do to get this W?
He just outplayed Annihilate. And when Queen of Pain doesn't have Blink, it tends to be a little bit easier. Of course, getting Blink is not really... Jeez, stop killing each other. I'm trying to speak.
So rude, guys. So rude, you know?
Yeah, Corp doesn't really pick up Blink that early anymore, and Nico just capitalized on that.
Yeah. Not only is Nico getting that early kill, there was a point in time where he was doubling the CS of Annihilate, so we'll certainly be looking a lot healthier in the network department as well. And there's so much aggression practically everywhere on the map right now. Each lane has some kind of kill threat. Down bottom, they have the necessary levels now to start threatening Overlom. Already got brought down before. They might try to go for it again, the Warden. Alright, here we go. Little Shredder going in. Not enough mana for a Fire Snap Cookie, but does still have a Mango. Nah, it doesn't seem like anything is going to happen. But we are starting to also get to the point where these levels for these mid laners, in a couple of minutes, soon they want to start moving on the map. And I think for Annihilate, his team is probably yelling at him that, dude, as soon as you can, please come top. We need help on this side of the map. Show up with a Sonic Wave or something. Give us a little bit of breathing room against the Skywrath Mage of B-God.
He has 2 lanes screaming at him to come and gank, but his own lane is also not going well.
Can he
Now
gank his
Orb
own
of
lane?
Corrosion coming up for Ember as well, with level 3 Sleight of Fist. I don't see Annihilate getting back into this lane.
Yeah, it's a very difficult time right now for this co-op, and a full level behind. At this point, only now going to crack 5 after a few more creeps in this wave. But Nico, very poised to try and make something happen for himself. And the rest of his team, you know, unlike what's happening with Annihilate, they're not necessarily yelling at him to come and help out, right? The top lane is going amazingly. In fact, they might try to run down this Terrorblade one more time here. It's fairly low on the HP, but they'll let him go. They'll allow him to live for now. Skywrath Mage got a bit too low, but the top lane is going magnificently. Bottom is going perfectly fine, and they need this kill. They need to get something going for themselves on this map, but they just keep trading this harass, and this is a Legion commander. More points are starting to accrue into the Moment of Courage. Harass like this with Moment of Courage and Helm of Iron Will soon gonna stop being effective at all.
I hope Tingle King doesn't fully commit to maxing his Q. Don't think it's a great spell to max even against TB. Much prefer seeing some more points into press the attack.
Did you see this hilarious moment that just happened in the bottom lane? Nightmare dodging a Fire Snap Cookie that just went the complete wrong direction. That was kind of hilarious, but
Yep.
Overlom just making their life a living hell. Just keeping them at bay a little bit, creating as much space for Italiano Gangster as possible. Not as much CS as I thought this Medusa might be able to get, but you're not really being pressured either, so no real stress off her back. Still pretty chilled. Still having a nice relaxed time. Should be able to find her items. At the same time though, for KBU, a little bit of this pressure is not necessarily being alleviated off Terrorblade, but he is able to start finding farm. Not finding himself under as much of the aggression. Sadly, the same cannot be said of Thana on this clockwork, and he's going to end up taking a tumble. B-God, another kill in the bag here for the Skywrath. Great start to the game for the support.
All things considered, this top lane is not going too poorly for KBU though. Like Terrorblade, he is having a much better time than Dusa somehow. Dusa already feeling forced to jungle.
Kind of peculiar. Like, okay. Oh, Ashy's here now. We'll see if they will occupy that bottom lane with the Bane, give him a little bit more experience while she's in this area. But the fight might start around middle. B-God is going to be around. And Nico went in with the Sleight of Fist. A lot of damage was dealt out with that Orb of Corrosion, but they just get the easy kill onto B-God. He now realizes that, well, no point really chasing too much further forward off of this. Fine. We'll just let the Skywrath be dead. B-God sadly can do nothing from the grave. Not that much pressure they can apply to the tower as well. At the same time, MMR Tourist finally has enough space with this Medusa forced out of lane to start working this tower down bottom. And it looks like with this HP pools the way they are, that they might get the tower first here on the side of KBU, despite having what seemed to be a better start on the opposite side. But Medusa, like you said, for some reason just found herself unable to keep up with this Kunkka. And now he's just having a great time down bottom, completely occupying this area by himself.
Yeah, and it's not like Ember can gank a Kunkka either. They're gonna need Mystic Flare to get a kill. That is the one thing I was slightly worried about. Like, they're gonna lack damage without the Sky.
You did mention that you were skeptical about their damage output. in this game if they don't get off to a blistering start with the necessary levels. And indeed, that hasn't necessarily been happening for them, although the first few minutes seemed quite good. We'll see what the Ember Spirit does decide to do as we're getting closer towards level 6 for the 5RATF Mage. It would be a great combo of heroes, especially now that we also have the Armlet finish for the Tingle King. Would be amazing to have the first rotation hit as you use Armlet and get the duel. It would be nice times, but you know, Dota has a tendency and is notorious for only giving us sadness. So Nico will have to pick the moments that they move on the map very carefully.
I mean, before you go rotate on a Legion, it tends to help to have boots. That is my personal opinion, though.
Boots, overrated, man. As we're gonna see, Dana. Dana's gonna die. I mean, see, Dana has boots and Dana died. Doesn't help you at all as Nico wanting to get more here, sticking around with the double flame god. Is there a remnant out? Not just yet. Slide through the Swino Pain Sonic Wave. Nico still being able to get the chase. Magic Stick up in a couple seconds. Gets it off with the 7 charges. Gets a triple kill off of this. MMR Tourist not in range to be able to get off the Torrent or a Tidebringer hit. Torrent, will it land? Yes, it will. Directly, but will it get the kill? Finally. They're able to bring him down, ending the killing spree. But Nico certainly giving us a show here, Wingblade, reminding us why we both fell in love with this guy the other time. Might not be playing puck, but still out here with the moves.
This guy, man. He is so good. I can't believe he almost got away with that. Getting a triple kill as well. Just insane.
Oh, like let's actually count everything he did that was super cool, right? So Remnant dodge, or slight dodge, not even Remnant dodge, slight dodge on Sonic Wave, slight dodge on additional damage that came in from the Warden, as we're going to get to see this replay here. Just look at him go. So he's already in. They'd already at this point found a kill, and here it comes. Ooh, wonderful to watch. Dodges
the first
out.
follow play was not going back with the X. He was like, nah, I can play myself out of this. Because the totally rational thing would be to just remnant away from the X, right? But Nico, he doesn't work that way.
Nope, he doesn't work that way at all. And now, because he doesn't work that way, they found a kill in this mid lane onto I Annihilate. Does get caught in the power cogs by the Stainer Clockwork, but no follow-up there. And they're actually coming back with the rest of the lineup. 5RATFORCESTAFF. Nico, what a player. And he seems to be unleashed. He's on one of his heroes that he feels he can flex a little bit of his muscles on. We'll see if they get this tower, but the way it's sitting right now, KB, you also don't have to worry that much about Sonic Wave. But what a torrent with this big boat crashing down onto 2. The Bane Elemental will be the first one to die. Tingle King does manage to take out the tower, but will certainly cost his own life there. Double kill for the Terrorblade. And MMR Tourist says, alright, fine. I see you, Nico. I see your slight dodges, your awesome plays, and I'm going to raise you some double stuns, big crash damage, and potentially a turnaround onto a tier 1 tower of our own.
I mean, MMR Tourist is having a great game as well. Like, he was the one who killed Nico, and now he set up this beautiful boat. Of course, the boat hit 0 people, but it was still a nice boat.
Look really cool. Sometimes that's all it needs to do. What does he build here? So he's already got the armlets. Do we normally see in these positions armlet, halberd, BKB? Is that still going to be the preferred option here for this Kunker?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe the BKB before the full halberd. And he probably wants to finish his face boots as well. His career is that. I assume Blades of Attack are on that. Ooh, are they gonna catch the TB? Should be able to.
We say that, but he's still alive for now. They finally come out with the grip. It gets cancelled by the hook shot from the Clockwork. Morty's Kiss is raining in though. Dad, which way can he go? He already utilized the Sunder, but he still gets kept alive. Snap Cookie. He's still gonna die. No, he will end up falling, but at the same time, the rest of the lineup just got absolutely annihilated. Morty's Kisses coming in from the Warden. We've got Sonic Wave floating through onto multiple heroes, but just too much damage. The Terrorblade also just distracted them for so long. 5RATFORCESTAFF sort of tunnel vision into that play. And then they don't get Italiano Gangster either. He does manage to get out. He wasn't involved in the initial fight. The only person to survive as a result. But that play, that fight, 5RATFORCESTAFF was so confident that we're going to find the Terrorblade and kill him. And they do kill him, but it comes at such a massive cost. It definitely isn't worth it at the end of the day.
looks like all of the rats have their fancy dancing shoes on because they just keep making these small plays. Even like when Nico dies, he still makes a cool play, dodging the Sonic Wave again. And the beautiful TP from Italiano Gangstar. I mean, it's hard to not root for the rats sometimes, but now Nico,
no.
the highs are high and the lows are low.
Yeah. Sometimes rats get caught, and in that situation, the rat got caught out. And again, we have a scenario where he could easily have escaped, right? He was around this Kunkka for a really long time. Thought he could outplay him, like play himself out of the situation. Sadly, sometimes you outplay yourself, and you end up losing your life as this Ember. Feel really bad, especially because the Kunkka continues to accelerate here. You are saying MMR Tourist is having a good game, but at this point, the game is phenomenal for him. He's outstripping even the Terrorblade in overall farm on the map right now.
Yeah, he even has almost the same CS, which is quite impressive. He's been making plays, getting kills, and also CSing really well.
Shout out the Kunkka doing what he needs to do right now. This point in time, the one hero that they are really struggling with though is this Queen of Pain. She really has not been able to make her mark on this game. I Annihilate, long progress before finishing Orchid. Erstwhile for Nico, Maelstrom practically finished. You're actually going to try smoke up right now, hope for a fight. If you get a pick off, that might be the gold needed to complete the item. Skyrath Mage desperately wants to drop this ultimate. There's a DD rune. Oh gosh, they come across that. Do they see him? Do they have the vision proper? Yes, they do. They do get the Mystic Flare out. Absolutely no chance for him to survive. They still find a hookshot though from Thana. They've already taken out the Skyrath Mage, but Remnant out is available this time for Nico. He's like, yeah, this doesn't feel like my kind of party. I'm a jet. I'm a leave. Peace out, y'all. Ends up getting out of trouble. They got the Terrorblade kill, and that's all they wanted, and that's enough gold to finish the Maelstrom.
Now there is finally the Blink Dagger on Legion. Of course, Searing Chains are still pretty good setup at this stage of the game, because no one can really dispel it. But yeah, it's a matter of time before TB gets his Manta, and at that point you're gonna be very happy to have Blink Duel.
Especially because by that they've already gotten the additional cost range talent at the ready, prepared to get the full reach that they need. Single King would love to reveal this on the Terrorblade, but did get scouted out right now thanks to those rocket flares. So they do know that they are moving in such a way that KBU have awareness of what's happening. And KBU will indeed just smoke up immediately themselves, trying to go for a counterplay. They want to utilize the Morty's Kisses again. It's Single King. What a blink back. Thana doesn't want to just raw go in with this hook shot. Sure, they do have the water nearby to drop Morty's Kisses, but you would also rather just take the guaranteed play instead, rather than making risky maneuvers on the map. So they will just allow the escape to happen. Wasted smoke, but ultimately they still just keep farming on this Terrorblade.
Yeah, but Dusa has finally caught up in terms of net worth. Had a terrible start, but she's looking pretty decent now. You're gonna be quite happy about your position as 5RATFORCESTAFFs.
Remind me again, the game that they won against the Cut, wasn't Italiano Gangster playing this Medusa in that game too? Ooh. It feels like it. I forget what he was. I forget if it was Medusa or if it was Wraith King, but I seem to remember them doing something similar to this. It was Dusa, right? Yeah. They definitely did something similar to this. And didn't they have Nico on Ember Spirit that game too?
No,
or
they had the
Puck
OD.
that game. Oh, was it OD? Yeah. But in that game, they did the thing of just creating as much space as possible for Dusa, and OD became the sort of saving engine for her. And it does seem like for 5RATFORCESTAFF, they seem to find their best groove or the best pocket for themselves when they can allow Italiano Gangster to just soak up all the farm on the map. As we see now a fight, small skirmish happening around the outpost. Quick kill onto the Clockwork will start things off. And now Morty's Kisses raining in from the heavens. Easily takes out the Bane too. X marks the spot on Nico. Let's see what you got, my friend. Does manage to remnant away. Boat only hits onto the Dusa, and with Stone Gaze active, she has more than enough protection. But KBU, He's still considering this chase forward. Jump in, coming in from the Legion Commander. Tingle King, though, might have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. Able to get out the Snapfire kill. And now they have to retreat for KBU US. It's going to be good enough for them. Here comes Dad, though. Terrorblade with the double damage. Looking big and scary, but Mystic Flare doesn't care about your double damage rune. They eviscerate the TB, and KBU clearly have bitten off much more than they can chew, trying to go and run away before the food bites back, and they do manage to get away with these lost heroes. But Terrorblade, this is really scary. This is terrifying. Your core #1 hero, the carry, the person that you pretty much drafted your entire lineup around, dying in the blink of an eye before he can even get out a single right click, that cannot feel good.
That is the power of Beagle Sky. Not going for a Rod of Hatos this game because he actually has a lot of ways that his team can set it up for him. Let's see. Queen of Pain, Annihilate. He did reveal his Orchid last fight, but of course Ember had a Illusion Rune that time, which is pretty sad. Ooh. Hook is gonna miss. Was quite close.
Would have been nice to land, but ends up not happening. We'll see if the smoke is able to connect onto anybody, though. Tingle King leading the charge. And they will scout out that these are just illusions out here in this mid lane. Not going to get anything off the back of this. What do you make of this Nico build as well? Going in for the Yule Scepter. He knows that Orchid is coming from the Queen of Pain. I would have thought that the option might have been BKB instead of going Yules, but what do you make of this instead?
I mean, you know Nico. He wants to go for the big play. Yules is the big play item. BKB is the solid and safe option. That's not how he rolls.
Nico telling his team, BKB is for scrubs. Let me show you how to play this hero.
He's like, I can try to win this game, or I can try to get some highlights on Reddit.
Alright, my man. My man, giving us the view counts. Shout out Nico. Better not die here middle though. He's gonna walk underneath an observer ward. Stay now hoping and waiting for the algo. He's already used the slide of fist here. Do they get this jump? Nico. They get him. Hook shots on. The jumps in. The silence is out. And he's gone. And he's gone. I bet he wished he had BKB then, but he probably still dies anyway. That was a lot of damage in a short span of time, and they managed to stun lock him before he could do anything here, Wingblade. Quick kill onto Nico, sadly. Just as the Yules arrive. That's a terrible and very sad time to die as the Ember Spirit.
I mean, it's better than right before your Yules arrives, because at least he didn't lose that much money.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but just a really nice chain stun from KBU. Now that's gonna be a tier 2 as well, which is just beautiful timing.
Yep. Tier 2 tower taken. Outpost is now there, ready for the taking. MMR Tourist didn't opt for BKB this game. He did go for the defensive item first though, before heading into the halberd, like you mentioned. The option instead of the Super Saiyan item is going to be the Pipe of Insight instead. Give his team a little bit of a protection against B-God. Like, B-God has just been a massive wrench in their plans, especially for this Terrorblade. And this actually does prove to feel, it feels a little bit problematic, right? If they don't have the guaranteed jump and kill of the Mystic Flare combo, if suddenly these heroes can get off a spell or two, does make all the difference in the world. And we've seen before, with Dota2 being the game of margins that it is, the difference that moment of survivability can make towards a team fight.
Yeah, Terrorblade is a prime example. If he gets off the Cinder, well, a fight becomes really difficult. Now a Roche attempt by the Rats. It doesn't look like KBU knows this is happening. When you look at the Dusa Ember lineup, you don't really expect this. It is very slow. But now it gets scouted out by the clock. Of course, when 5 heroes are missing, even a lineup like this becomes a little suspicious.
Yeah, and this Roche attempt will be successful for them. Nico gets it. They smoke up immediately off the back of it. Looking for some kind of additional play on the map. Who will they come across? Not very easy to catch up to a Clockwork. They try to get closer with the Bane. Good usage of the Glimmer Cape, but they still will find him on the high ground. Power Cogs or no. Tingle King happy to jump in, get some dual damage. 23 minutes in, it's only plus 20 for the LC at this point, but for 5RATFORCESTAFF, all they wanted is a pick-off, just to be able to say, hey, we did it, we got this going, can get some more vision out on the map, start pushing in for this tier 2 tower middle, and start positioning Italiano Gangster as the siege engine for all of these pushes. She doesn't have the Aegis on this Medusa, but nonetheless, she's still feeling very, very strong with the Skadi, Manta style, and the Aghanim shard on Tingle King to make sure she has that little moment of magic immunity as well.
Yeah, she doesn't really need Aegis. It's very nice for Nico when he goes for the 50-50 place. Nico is gonna be going for the Aghanim Scepter. A lot of burst magic damage. Always nice.
I also think that it's really great given the kind of lineup that they have already. You know, just him not having to be as far forward can create a little bit more dynamism. Tingle King initiates on one side of the fight, perhaps he goes in another. For example, he can maybe scout out Thana as a clockwork. Will not be able to get himself out to safety. Unfortunately for him, his hookshot got connected onto by Nico. That's going to be a quick kill. And 5RATFORCESTAFF from this position, they've already taken this outpost in the top lane, farming more and more on Italiano Gangster. At the same time though, this Terrorblade is still proving to be no real slouch at this point. She just finished the Eye of Skadi, has similar items to this Medusa, somewhat off the pacing of her itemization itself, but can Terrorblade still do it in the conditions that they're in right now? Or are we at that point where Medusa is starting to feel a bit too strong for the TB to deal with anymore?
In a vacuum, I would say that TB would be totally fine against Dusa, but of course this is not a vacuum. And I don't think Dusa is really the hero to worry about anyway for TB. Like, we spoke about this in the draft, but there is nothing stopping Tingle King from just jumping Terrorblade every single fight.
Definitely be the priority target, and now the priority target for the 5RATFORCESTAFF is this base. They're trying to take it now. Okay, jump onto this bunker. Gonna be Morty's Kisses in a boat flying in. Nico falling very low, needs to worry about his HP pool. Yule Scepter, does he get out to safety? 20 HP, the Ember Spirit survives. They also get a dual kill out onto this Clockwork Goblin. Rocket Flare should be flying in. Will it find the kill? Not just yet. Nico, beautiful slice. And they do get this big slow coming in onto the Medusa from the TB. They get the big kill there. And now jump up. This is going to be a dieback on the Clockwork as Tingle King and B-God will combo up to kill him, but probably going to come at a big cost. Tingle King, no escape possible for you, nor for B-God. X marks the spot, will be there for the Skyrat Mage too. Bye-bye to everybody. Only Nico able to dance his way out of trouble. Ironically enough, the one person with the Aegis gets to keep both lives, but everybody else loses the only one that they have.
That was actually a really nice play from Dana on this Clockwork. We'll get a replay of that one. It's so nice that he just runs low ground, baits all of the spells while his team can close in.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We made so much space at the same time, right? Because at this point now, everyone realizes that we're a bit too far gone. We have to all retreat. We don't have duel. We don't have access to the full grip in this way anymore. So we gotta run, and KBU finally get to take a very, very big fight. Look at the damage that was able to emerge from this TB. The X marks. Feels like they were almost waiting for that fight throughout this entirety of the game, and then they finally get an opportunity to take it. Now that opens up the tier 1 tower in the top lane. They've already gotten tier 2 bottom, a tier 1 middle, so now also have a gold lead for themselves for what feels like really the first time in a long, long time in this game. And KBU, although not everything that's good lasts forever, we do get to see the big combo once more. Blink, duel, nothing you can do.
Yeah, you have to stay on your toes. Just one mistake and you die, and this is true for any KBU hero. Even TB, if he steps out of bounds, he also dies in a duel still.
Yeah.
I mean, he's nearly up to 4k HP, but it's not gonna help him.
There's a lot of damage on the Skyrat Mage with a Fairy Trinket to boot, Aether Lens, quite a lot that he can do, and 5RATFORCESTAFF, I like that they keep poking and prodding onto the tier 3 tower in the top lane, trying to force a situation where even if they're not able to take a full lane of racks, at the very least, they're the ones that have the potential to take one fight and come in and then take those racks thereafter. KBU will always now have to be attending and thinking about this side of the map. 5RATFORCESTAFF, despite not having the top farmed hero on the map, still probably feeling quite decent about themselves. Italiano Gangster going for this BKB here. I feel like this is completely warranted, right, for him to go BKB. I think TB might be also inclined to go for one, but actually opting for a Satanic. This is interesting though. Satanic, despite there already being the Eye of Skadi available on the Dusa, is this the right option here for the TB?
I mean, he just wants to be as tanky as possible. He's buying all the tankiness items that also kind of work on his hero. And I don't think Skadi is really that much of a counter against Satanic anyway. I mean, yeah, it reduces the lifesteal a little bit, but it's not really why you buy the item, and I don't think there is a situation where you would not buy Satanic because someone has a Skadi. It's still completely fine for TB here.
He's also going to be getting this at the same time as a Pally Sword, so quite a lot of regen available as they smoke up. Not sure if this Observer Ward caught the vestiges of the smoke popping, but so far KBU haven't been scouted out just yet. They do not have any clear vision. Nico will remnant past them. I think he might have broken somebody's smoke. I'm not sure if Dad broke that by himself, but they might have to come back top to try and defend the tower because 5RATFORCESTAFF, they'll realize that, wait a second, if there's creeps hitting other creeps on the high ground, we can probably come in and find ourselves a nice little slice of damage for free, and Nico will be the first one to oblige. He starts on this push. The TPs finally start returning from KBU, but a little bit too late. They're already going to end up losing the range racks. Will they be able to at least get something out of this, at the very least? And Nico's no longer available in this fight. This could be a dangerous situation. Yeah, does have a bit of range. Nice hook shot coming in. Overlong going to be the first casualty of this fight. They're going to be able to get the clockwork kill soon thereafter, though. Buyback quickly in from the Bane as the boat flies out, crashes onto the Dusa. She pops the BKB as Nico on the high ground looks for Ward and gets the kill. And they find the duel onto I Annihilate. Easy kill with the Mystic Flare follow-up and the Fiend's Grip onto the Terrorblade. They have no help for him. And none of these heroes have buyback Wingblade. I think the game might have just ended. Just like that in the blink of an eye. MMR Tourist, they're trying to help him out with the Fire Snap Cookie, but the long reach from Nico. Aghanim Scepter is up on the Ember. But MMR Tourist still proving to be fairly tanky. Heaven's Halberd, Armlet Toggles, and a Pipe of Insight. Not easy to be able to bring down, but they still get the full lane of racks. KBU not set up for the appropriate defense, and they get punished very heavily for this one.
Really nice buyback from the Bane, making sure they still get the grip onto the Terrorblade. Because that was huge. Duel was already used and TB was fighting the Dusa, but with no KBU heroes nearby, Terrorblade was just completely alone and was nothing he could do.
Oh boy. 2 lanes of racks down. KBU suddenly playing very much up against it. Not too long ago it was a much more even affair, but right now Wingblade, it's an 8k gold lead. Experience trending in their favor as well. Win probability at 94%. Feels good, feels nice if you're the 5RATFORCESTAFF lineup, and it feels like this Italiano Gangster Medusa is their lucky charm and their ticket to success. Second time around against an opponent that's already grabbed a win against their competitors and their compatriots. But when they give him the Medusa, suddenly things start to turn around here for 5RATFORCESTAFF. And if they get this Aegis Wingblade, what's the counterplay for KBU? Can they fight through 2 lives of this hero?
I think so. If they can kill the rest of his team, sure.
So it's a
Nice
very
hook shot
easy
on the
thing.
Bane. That's the most important target.
Will he die first? Yes, he does. No buyback available. That's a full dieback on Bane. They have to get out of here as they already popped the BKB on Italiano Gangster. They do remove the life of the Snapfire and Duel flying out onto Tingle King. But this might not be a duel that this LC wants. Will they get the kill? Yes! The very last second, Italiano Gangster comes up the hill. The BKB from the LC will protect her from the damage of MMR Tourist, who almost got the counterplay. They force a buyback on the Queen of Pain. Italiano Gangster, no more access to Stone Gaze. But this Roche, it's low enough that neither team can really afford to walk away from this pit. I Annihilate really wants this Aegis, wants to make sure that this buyback was not in vain. And without any ultimates online for 5RATFORCESTAFF, they feel a bit timid to come into this. Nico will have 2 Remnant charges in a second. They're not roshing fast enough here, Wingblade. KBU a little bit scared here. Medusa tossed into the air with the turret. Nico lays out a Remnant. Will he jump in? Not just yet. He goes in now. Will they find the Thunder? Sonic Wave. He snatches the Aegis as they get a duel out onto the Terrorblade. Dead without buyback for another 70 seconds. And now they get the silence out onto this Kunkka. Should be an easy cleanup for them as well, as the MMR tourist will be giving away MMR on this point. 75 seconds in the grave, does have buyback. But Nico, yet again, heroic for the lineup. And so heroic, in fact, that KBU, they call GG. They don't believe they can do it in Wingblade. We're going to a game 3. 5RATFORCESTAFF has done it.
Yeah, very nice. This